So guys, now let's go to our enemy script. So now here in top of our start function, we are going to use the public int, or we can use float for health of our enemy. Then we want also to public int gold to give how much our enemy should give us gold when they are going to die. And the next one, public image. As you see, when I want to write the image, it gives us an error. That's why what we need to do, so to fix that in the top, we need to use a library Unity Engine .ui, and when we use that, as you see, the image, now we can write the image, we can get access to the image of the UI. And here I'm going to call it health bar. So now when I'm going to save the script, I'm going to our hierarchy. You can see that our enemy has health, gold to give, and the health bar image, which later we are going to use the enemy health. I'm going to actually call this one also health bar. Okay, so now when I'm going inside of our script again, this is the public. So, but when I'm going to switch it to private, then we cannot see it in hierarchy. As you see, the health is going away. We cannot see the hierarchy. The hierarchy, we cannot see it in inspector. So to see that, we need, instead of the normal, we need to go to the debug, and in the debug version, we can see that it's highlighted, but it's really grau highlighted. Okay, that is the difference between the public and private. Private, you cannot see it in the normal inspector, but in the public you can see it in inspector. So now I'm going to change back to public because I want to modify it in our inspector. That's why I'm going to use it public. So now let's create another public int health. I'm just copy that, Control C, and paste it. This one I'm going to call it max health. So we have the current health. I'm going to change it also current health and max health. Now the current health is showed the current enemy health, and the max health is the maximum health that our enemy can have. So now let's go to make a function. Here this function will be public void damage. Now inside, each time that our enemy is going to get damage, we want to reduce reduce 1 point, so 1 damage from it. We are going to say current health minus equal to 1. Now also we want to reduce from our bar, health bar. So here we are going to say health bar dot fill amount is equal to, because it's int, we need to convert it to float. So that's why here we are going to say float, and after float is our current health divided by we need another float, because when two int is divided from each other, they are going to give the a float value. That's why we need to so change that float value to int. That's and why that's the reason we are going to, before our int, we are going to write float. Then max health. So now we are going to make another function for when our enemy is going to die. Public void, going to call the die function. For now, we don't write anything inside, and here we are going to use if. When we are going to use if, we need a condition inside of the parenthesis, and the condition is that when our current health is less than or equal to 0. So current health is less than or equal to 0. That means we want to call the function die function. So as soon as the enemy's health is reached to 0 or less than 0, then we are going to call the function that here. So which here later we are going to change the sprite and make it bring the new enemy, and we can attack the new enemy. So now I'm going to comment our lines. Here when I'm going to use the slash, that means it's a comment and it will not get read, it's just information for the person who want to read our script. So here reduce health by 1, then here we can say get the value of enemy health bar. And what is the fill amount? So the health bar dot fill amount. So we don't have anything here fill amount. So from where we are doing that, it's from our UI, and I'm going to save it, and then here this is our health bar. So we are going to get the fill amount. As you see here, we have a fill amount, and we are it's the max. This is the max health at 1, and when the current health is from the max health, we are going to get the value, and it's going down, and also we are going to reduce from the enemy bar. That is the fill amount that we are going to use. That's why we use the UI, so to get access to this fill amount. Now here also I'm going to comment it. As so now I'm going to save it, and let's go now back to our game. Let's put the current health at 5, max health also at 5, gold to give, maybe we can put at 2, and health bar, I'm going to drag our health bar image there. So now if we play, nothing is going to happen because we cannot get damage to our enemy. The reason is because we didn't use the event for in our button to give a damage to our enemy. So now here when we are going down, here you can see the onClick event. So onClick event is going, we can give some function to this part, and that function is going to do the stuff that we want. So here now on click event, going to click on this plus button, then here it asks us about the object, and here we need to put the object that has the script attached to it. So here script is attached to our enemy, so I'm going from here, drag it there, and then no function, I'm going inside, going to enemy script, and then I'm going to call the damage function. So now when I'm going to play again, you see that the enemy damage, each time that I'm going to click on our enemy, it's going to give a damage to our enemy. So now let's make this enemy as a prefab. So here in our asset, I'm going to create another empty folder, going to call it prefabs. So we are going to put all of our prefabs item inside. So here instead of enemy, I'm going to also rename it to enemy parenthesis, and inside of the parenthesis number 1. So I need to put the space behind. So now we can duplicate, we can bring our enemy inside of our prefab. And when I'm going to duplicate our enemy one with Control D or just put the duplicate, we are going to create the second one. And the only things we need to do here, changing the enemy button, going to game asset enemies, change the sprite, then go to this one. So now when I'm going to disable the first one, we can see just the second one, like that. So now I'm going to prefab, unpack prefab completely. Then let's go to prefab again and put that as a prefab as well. So now I can delete them. Okay. So guys, in the next part, we are going to make an enemy controller. So each time that we are going to defeat one of our enemy, then the next enemy is going to appear. So see you now in the next part.